In this video, we're talking about an under-the-radar spec character that has at least some potential for showing up in the MCU. Stay tuned.
Bry's Comics.
First off, we do a monthly giveaway on this channel. If you subscribe to the channel, comment on this video, and like this video, you're entered to win 2 CGC slabs this month, one of which is Amazing Spider-Man 315 and 9.6, and the other is a CGC 9 Pokemon card, which is valued at somewhere around $100. And if you go over to brycecomics.com and sign up for the newsletter, you're entered to win another 2 slabs. And this month is the James Tynion Tiny Onion exclusive for Nice House on the Lake #1. And Spider-Gwen #1, the 1 in 25 Anka variant, first solo series for Spider-Gwen. Links in the description to 2 friends of mine that donated the CGC card slab and the James Tynion exclusive. Links in the description for everything that they have going on. Go check them out and give them a follow. So with everything that's going on in the MCU, with all of the speculation and all of these characters that are rumored for the current and upcoming movies, I thought, what books are people not speculating on? What characters are people not talking about whatsoever? What long-term specs could pay off in the future? And the first character that came to mind for me is White Tiger. So White Tiger is the first ever Puerto Rican superhero in comics ever, and it's the first Latino superhero for Marvel Comics. One of the angles that I like to take with speculation that I think is a safe bet is diversity characters. So Marvel is doubling down and always putting a lot of resources behind representation and representing different cultures. And I kind of feel like the Latino cultures are a little bit underrepresented in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Not to say that they haven't invested in Latino characters at all. I just think that it has potential. And one of the other things that I like to do with speculation is speculate on things that I wouldn't mind getting stuck with if the spec doesn't play out. And the White Tiger has so many awesome covers and awesome stories that go along with him. A lot of these books have been on my want list anyway, so it's a perfect storm. Nobody's talking about it. There is speculative potential, and I wouldn't mind getting stuck with it if the spec doesn't play off. So to be clear, there's no rumors or anything that White Tiger is coming to the MCU soon, but it just seems like a win-win all the way around. With that said, let's jump into the computer and look at all of the different specs associated with White Tiger. All right, so here we are in keycollectorcomics.com, and this is an example of a way that I use this app or this website all the time. Is a situation like this: if I'm specking on a certain character, like the White Tiger, I go to search, click on character, type in White Tiger, and all of this stuff comes up for White Tiger. Tiger Division actually has nothing to do with White Tiger, so you can ignore that, but here's the main one in White Tiger. And these are the top 2 books for the White Tiger, regardless of what happens, what version of the character comes up in the MCU or whatever. These 2 books, Deadly Hands of Kung Fu #19 and Spectacular Spider-Man #9, are the 2 money books, period, for the White Tiger. And Deadly Hands of Kung Fu #19 is from December of 1975. It's this awesome painted cover. I've always wanted this in the PC because of the cover alone. And then you've got the added bonus of the first appearance of the White Tiger, who is the first Puerto Rican superhero in comic book history and the first Latino superhero created by Marvel. So sometimes you'll get a character that'll be like the first African-American superhero for Marvel, but there may have been an earlier African-American superhero in some other thing. Well, this is the first Puerto Rican superhero in comic book history, period. And it's also the first Latino superhero created by Marvel. So just so awesome that it has that historical significance. And it says here that Hector Ayala briefly appears in costume after finding the amulets of power discarded by the Sons of the Tiger. So this is a magazine, oversized magazine. There's tons of awesome material in here. There's like, comic book stories mixed in with like real stories. There's a bunch of like real photographs and interviews and stuff at actual Kung Fu events, which I thought was really interesting. They were like really trying to tie together like real life Kung Fu and the comic book versions of Kung Fu to like show, I think that, like it's real and like, it's just super interesting how they tied together the real life Kung Fu aspects with the comic books. But there's definitely a full story about Hector Ayala and White Tiger, and he may briefly appear as a White Tiger, but man, does he appear in all of his glory Boom! Look at this first full appearance of the White Tiger in costume in the last page of the story. I mean, talk about an awesome representation of a culture and a people. If I'm Puerto Rican, I am so proud to be represented by this character, that this superhero is representing my culture and my people. I mean, look at the artwork, look at the backstory, look at the presentation that they give. So much justice to this people and this character. I just think it's so awesome. Of course, I'm not Puerto Rican, so I can't really say that, you know, it represents the people well. If you are Puerto Rican, leave a note in the comments down below if you're proud to be represented by this character. But I just think it just looks like such an honoring character, and the artwork throughout this magazine is so epic. It's like this the whole way through. I really enjoy these oversized magazines. It's not just this one. I have been on the hunt, like I said, for a high grade copy of this for a long time, but you know, they just hardly ever come up for sale. Here's the 9.8. It sold once in 2021, once in 2019, once in 2018. The last sale was $3,000. Well, finally, a 9.8 came up for auction at Comic Link, and I'm like, sweet, I'm gonna score this 9.8 for $3,000 the last sale, because nobody's talking about it, nobody's specking on this character. Like, it's just gonna go completely under the radar. And to my surprise, it ended for $6,000 for a CGC 9.8, 100% increase, which for some reason the sale doesn't reflect here on GPA, but here's the sale right here, April 26th for $6,000. And so I actually found, because I casually mentioned this in a YouTube video, that I was looking for a high grade copy of this, and somebody heard that and reached out to me, was like, hey, I just happened to get one of these graded, it's a 9.6. Are you interested? And I ended up buying the 9.6 for $2,000. So I paid $2,000 for a 9.6 combination between cash and trade. The last sale was $660, but seeing that, you know, the most recent sale for 9.8 was $6,000, I thought, you know what, $2,000 is a fair offer all the way around, and I'm just happy to finally have secured it for the PC. But if you're not into magazines, here's another really good option in Spectacular Spider-Man 9, the first standard comic book appearance of the character. And if we look at GPA for this book, it is in a major dip. It's gone through a correction. The last sale was $470, which I think is a steal, but there's lots of copies to be had, you know, around the $500-600 mark. You know, nobody's talking about this book, well, up until this video anyways, but I don't think it's going to correct anymore. And I think the fact that there's so much potential for this character now is a safe time to buy in. There is actually 5 versions of the White Tiger. There's Hector Ayala, and then a bunch of other people to follow after him and spin-offs and stuff. I do think that Hector Ayala is the most likely to appear in the MCU if we do get him in the MCU. But some other versions, we have the White Tiger, the second White Tiger, an actual Bengal tiger transformed by the High Evolutionary to hunt Man-Beast, here in Heroes for Hire #1, which is an awesome 90s cover. If you're into 90s covers, this is just classic 90s, but I don't think that this is a good spec. I don't think that this one is going to pay off at all. And then we have Black Panther in Kevin Cole. So in Black Panther #50, with this awesome cover. I don't know what it is, but I just love this part about his shoe and the shading, and I think this is definitely a really awesome cover. I actually just gave away a 9.6 copy of this at my last live sale, but this is the first appearance of Kevin Cole, who fights crime as the Black Panther and then later becomes the White Tiger, so there's a tie-in there to the Black Panther. And then here in Black Panther #62, in the final issue for the series, is the first appearance of Kevin Cole as the White Tiger, previously the Black Panther, but this is the money book for Kevin Cole. Again, super long shot for the MCU. But we also have White Tiger in Ava Ayala. And so in Avengers Academy #20, we have the first cameo appearance of Ava Ayala, and then the first full appearance and first cover appearance of the White Tiger, Ava Ayala here. And this is, I think, should be the money book. If it isn't, it should be the money book for Ava. Look at her in her glory. Look how awesome this cover is. I think this is a really cool cover, but again, a super long shot for the MCU. but just want to go ahead and present all the different white tigers anyways. Here's another awesome one in Angela del Toro, the fourth white tiger, not in costume, first appeared in Daredevil number 58. And a fun little thing here is it's also the first modern appearance of the night nurse, Linda Carter. So that's kind of cool. But this one, white tiger number 1, is the first appearance of Angela del Toro as the white tiger. And look at this cover art by David Mack. I mean, it doesn't matter if this ever happens in the MCU. I mean, this is just such an awesome cover by David Mack. I think it's undervalued for that fact alone. I think $8 is a good price. So I'm not saying go out and pay $50 for this. I'm not saying go out and pay $60 for this. I'm saying that $8 or a back issue dollar bin find of this book, because you should be able to find it in dollar bins, is a fantastic pickup because it is an awesome David Mack cover. It's not a great spec. I don't think that she's, really going to come to the MCU. There's a slight, tiny, slim sliver of a chance that that would happen, but it's an awesome cover that would be a great pickup for $8. I don't think you can misinterpret that statement at all. But once again, the two money books for this character, in my opinion, are Deadly Hands of Kung Fu number 19 and Spectacular Spider-Man number 9. So there you have it, guys. A bunch of awesome different options if you're specking on White Tiger like I am. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, comment on this video, and like this video for your chance to win 2 CGC slabs. And head over to BryceComics.com for your chance to win another 2 CGC slabs. As always, thank you so much for sticking with me to the end of the video, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
Bryce Comics.